Hello, this video is about Pinus Sabiniana, or also called the digger pine. This is a seedling of the digger pine. This is one of my favorite type of pine trees. I grew this one from seed. See? A digger pine, or Pinus Sabiniana, is a type of pine tree that grows in the Sierra Nevada foothills and in the valley in California. It basically it grows to 100-something feet and is often forked and kind of has irregular pattern. But I think it's pretty good pine. It's useless for anything, but maybe you can, if you have a good enough splitter, you can split some firewood. But it's useless for lumber. People have tried to make timber out of it, but it always warps. And it has very deep taproot, often leaning. The taproot is so deep that it doesn't fall. Very drought resistant, so it can handle drought very well. And the needles are very sparse, so sun gets through it. So like if you had it in your front lawn, you would still be able to grow along as long as you rake up the needles. And the cones are rather impressive. I don't have a cone. I only have seedlings. And I don't have any more seeds. I had to buy some more. But basically, I think after that, for reforestation, I think it's a really good tree. Why don't people grow these in their yard or in their property or whatever? It's a really good tree. They're edible. You eat the buds, you eat your cones, you eat the seeds, you eat the inner bark. You could make tea out of the needles. If you can can't use them for anything, at least you can make turpentine out of it, or pine tar, or pine needle oil. The reason why they call them digger pines is because they're named after the Native Americans that would dig up roots. And the other names for them are sandbine pines, bull pines, gray pines, although nowadays it's usually called gray pines, but the digger pine sticks to it, and that's the most widespread name for it, but the botanical name for it is Pinus Sabiniana. And basically the thing about it, that they're pretty cold hardy too. They can stand down to USDA Zone 6. Although they're not recommended for anything lower than Zone 7. But they grow pretty well in Seattle. They plant them in Seattle. They grow pretty good there. They can grow pretty much anywhere, from 6 to probably about 9. I've seen them down in Central Coast. I've never actually been up to a mature one, but I've seen one from like 15-20 feet away behind a fence. I had a cone once. Someone gave it to me a long time ago. I didn't know what it was, but then I saw some under it, and someone told me it was a digger pine. And then I read about it years later. But that's my favorite kind of pine tree. I just thought I should share that with you. Because digger pine trees have more useless people think they do. They think they're useless, so they would dig them up and get rid of them. People cut them down once they get in the way. They're beautiful trees. Why hurt what God created? It's beautiful. It just is. It's beautiful. God created them. God put them there. Why not plant some more of them? If I ever have land that's warm enough to have them, I will plant some of them. Matter of fact, I'll start a nursery to grow them so upper people can plant them too. Matter of fact, I'm going to start out with 10,000. I'll sell them for a price of $5 per, or maybe like $5 or $7 per 1 gallon nursery container with a seedling in it. I'll just plant the seed. I know how to grow them. I take soak them in water for 20. Scarification, you soak them in water for 24 hours. Stratification, cold stratification, you cold stratify it in a bag of wet sand for 120 days. And then you plant them in the dirt or in a potting soil, whatever you want to plant them in, container or the ground. And a few weeks later they'll sprout. They're kind of hard to grow. They're hard to grow to start. But once they start and you get them in the ground, they grow. Not really easily like some other stuff, but they grow. So I recommend, if you ever want to have a nice pine tree, look for digger pine. Remember, Pinus Sabiniana. Digger pine. They sell them on the internet some places. That's a beautiful tree. Just look for it. And if you can't find one, grow one. I told you how. Bye.